Coming up tonight, in Florida, the critically injured photojournalist is speaking out on the shooting that killed his friend and colleague. And the origins of COVID-19, the debate whether it came out of a Chinese lab or occurred naturally.
Then, the Alex Murdaugh murder trial, the latest update on on the ongoing court case. Plus, a look at your Plattsburgh weather, entertainment, and sports tonight on PS News. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Benardot.
And I'm John Carduello. Our top story tonight. A critically injured Orlando TV station photojournalist is opening up about the loss of his coworker in a mass shooting. Jesse Walden was injured in a series of shootings Wednesday that took the lives of reporter Dylan Lyons, a 38-year-old woman, and a 9-year-old girl. Rebecca Turco spoke with Walden from his hospital bed.
Dylan was a very, very wholesome person. He had a great sense of humor, too.
Lying in his hospital bed, recovering from being shot, our photographer Jesse Walden remembers Dylan Lyons. Dylan wasn't just a coworker to Jesse. He was a friend.
Dylan and I got very, very close.
The two started at Spectrum News 13 around the same time last year. They got paired on the night shift together. Jesse describes him as a go-getter, happy to be doing what he loved.
He had a very strong sense of justice. He would really want everyone to follow the rules when it came to people with power.
Jesse says Dylan adored his other half. He'd talk about her a lot.
It was almost sweet to a fault about her.
As Jesse works to process the unimaginable, he has a long road ahead. He's hoping to be out of the hospital in the next day or two. Then it's likely months of recovery. But even with all of that, he's still himself, keeping in the best of spirits he can. So appreciative of the support he's getting from loved ones, old coworkers, even strangers.
Every step of the way, I've been blessed. Just people care.
Dylan Lyons was 24 years old. A 19-year-old suspect has been taken into custody. Authorities are still working to determine the motive in the shootings.
The Department of Energy says the COVID-19 pandemic most likely came from a laboratory leak in China. U.S. government officials have been divided over whether the pandemic was caused from a Chinese lab leak or emerged naturally from the wild. A senior U.S. intelligence official told the Wall Street Journal that new information caused the department to make an updated assessment. The Intelligence Committee has noted repetitively that a lack of cooperation from Beijing has made it difficult to get to the bottom of the question of where COVID-19 originated. The assessment comes as Republicans on Capitol Hill are being pushed for further investigation on the lab leak theory. And President Joe Biden has put resources into getting to the bottom of where and how the pandemic started.
The Supreme Court on Tuesday is set to hear arguments on President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. The plan, which cancels up to $20,000 of student debt for each borrower who qualifies, has been on hold as it makes its way through the courts. Two cases are in front of the justices. In one, 6 Republican-led states say they would be harmed financially if the program goes into effect. The other involves 2 borrowers in Texas who don't fully qualify for debt forgiveness. Plaintiffs in both cases argue the government doesn't have the authority to cancel loan debt under the proposed rules of the program. But the Biden administration argues that a 2003 law gives them the power in the event of a national emergency, including the COVID-19 pandemic. It's unclear when the court will make its decision in the cases. Typically, rulings are released at the end of the term, usually in late June or early July.
A winter storm is tearing across the nation. In Southern California, there is seen more than 6 feet of snow. In Texas, hurricane-force winds are whipping up dust storms, and powerful tornadoes are ripping through Oklahoma and Kansas. One of those tornadoes tore through Norman, Oklahoma, just south of Oklahoma City, injuring at least a dozen people. CNN Edie Lavandera has more.
A massive storm system barreled through the Central Plains Sunday night.
So traditionally, the Southern Plains, Tornado Alley, if you will, doesn't really start to come alive with these tornadoes and these severe weather outbreaks until maybe March, especially April and May. That's the peak tornado severe season here in the Southern Plains. But so this is quite an early wake-up call.
Multiple tornadoes touched down in the region as well. In Norman, Oklahoma, a tornado caused down power lines and road closures.
This is terrible to have this tornado going through Norman like this. It's just past 48th and Lindsay, moving up to the northeast end. We're going to try to get back on I-40 and get out ahead of it again. We're going as fast as we can. That is not good right there on the west side of Thunderbird, guys. Oh, it's getting even stronger.
The storm ripped roofs off homes and damaged cars.
A lot of real strong wind. I was standing out in the garage. My wife went to the neighbors to get in a shelter. Wood and debris started flying and hitting things, so I jumped in the back seat of a car in the garage real quick.
2 tornadoes were reported in Kansas on Sunday, leaving homes in the area destroyed. Winds in the triple digits were felt, the highest in Memphis, Texas, where winds hit a staggering 114 miles per hour, the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane. In Lubbock, Texas, a dust storm rolled through, leaving visibility in the area to less than a mile. And in Albuquerque, New Mexico, winds topped over 70 miles per hour, leaving overturned trees and businesses damaged.
I'm in shock, but because we love our restaurant, we love our work.
This amount of damage with this wind, I haven't seen anything like this for the 20 plus years that I've been living here.
This storm system started in California, where parts of Southern California saw a rare storm that dumped massive amounts of snow in the area. Huge snow totals were seen throughout the region, including Mountain High, which recorded 93 inches of snow through Sunday morning. Rain was dumped on other parts of California, causing flooding and leaving cars stranded. California firefighters were seen rescuing this driver by helicopter as floodwaters continued to rise. The storm left the ground so eroded that this RV fell into the Valencia River.
I'm just kind of afraid we're going to have to evacuate if it gets any worse.
As of early Monday morning, there had been 9 tornado reports, 7 in Oklahoma and others in Kansas. No deaths have been reported so far.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen says they have reached a decisive breakthrough. They hope the new Windsor framework will resolve some of the issues with the Northern Ireland Protocol. The deal will allow one lane for goods crossing from Great Britain into Northern Ireland that will go unchecked, and another for goods that continue to the Republic of Ireland, where checks will be carried out.
I'm pleased to report that we have now made a decisive breakthrough. Together, we have changed the original protocol and are today announcing the new Windsor framework. Today's agreement delivers smooth-flowing trade within the whole United Kingdom, protects Northern Ireland's place in our union, and safeguards sovereignty for the people of Northern Ireland.
First Lady Jill Biden is on a 5-day trip to Namada and Kanye. And, of course, the world is waiting to find out if President Joe Biden will run for re-election. The First Lady did not hesitate when asked if there was any chance her husband would, quote, not run for 2024. Speaking to CNN's Aralete sentence, the First Lady comments came as a latest indication that President Biden is close to launching a re-election bid.
It's Joe's decision, and we support whatever he wants to do. If he's in, we're there. If he wants to do something else, we're there too.
Is there any chance at this point that he's not going to run?
Not in my book.
You're all for it.
I'm all for it, of course.
President Biden's 80. Critics have pointed to his age as a factor in a re-election bid. But the First Lady says his trip to Ukraine showed he still has the energy for another campaign and another 4 years in office.
More devastation in Turkey as a 5.2 magnitude aftershock struck the Malaysia province today. Rescue workers search for more victims. The latest aftershock comes 3 weeks after the initial magnitude 7.8 quake hit Turkey and Syria. More than 50,000 people have died. Hundreds of thousands of quake victims have been using temporary tents as homes with no long-term solution in sight. CNN's Nada Bashir has the story.
Amid the rubble in Antakya, there is quiet. Buildings teetering on the edge of collapse. The air thick with dust as excavators comb through the destruction. There are no more survivors to be rescued, only bodies to be recovered. For the living, life has changed forever. And all that remains is the trauma of the earthquake. The moment the earthquake happened, our electricity was cut off. It started to rain and hail fell from the sky, manager tells me. I pray no one ever has to witness such a moment. Homes cracked and collapsed in front of us. This family has lost everything. 3 generations now housed in this small tent in the nearby city of Iskenderun. They are among the hundreds of thousands of people displaced across southeast Turkey, with camps like this expanding each day. Every effort is made to provide families with a semblance of normality. Hot meals, medical care, and even psychological counseling are provided at this humanitarian hub. But there are also many smaller camps with little in the way of infrastructure or even shelter. 73-year-old Tahir al-Sarjawi tells me that he has not only lost his home, but he has lost loved ones too. Now his family is living on the street. Many of the families still waiting for a tent at this camp are Syrian, already made refugees by a cruel war at home. Now, some say they feel they are being sidelined in favor of Turkish families. They've given tents to the Turkish families here, but still no tents for us, Arwa says. Each day we wait, but they say the Turkish families come first. Aren't we all one? Aren't we all brothers and sisters? This earthquake affected all of us. Her sister-in-law, Dania, says that they, along with their young children, have spent every day and every night on the streets since the earthquake struck. Accounts like this have been shared with us by numerous Syrian families here in Iskenderun, though authorities and volunteers alike have told us that no distinction is made between Turkish citizens and Syrian refugees. The hope for many now living in tents is that this will all be temporary. But aid workers tell us that these camps could be in place for years, and the threat of yet another earthquake still hangs over this already shattered population. Nada Bashir, CNN, in Hatay province, Turkey.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has just checked off a major political win. The Republican governor signed a bill into law Monday, giving him a new power over Walt Disney World. The law is essentially a state takeover of the Reedy Creek Improvement District. That's the special governing and taxing body that was in place for more than 50 years for the Disney World Resort in Central Florida. The legislation allows DeSantis to hand-pick the 5 new members on the board. It also restricts the resort's use of eminent domain and removes power that could have allowed Disney to build its own airport or nuclear plant. The move has largely been seen as a way to punish Disney for speaking out against DeSantis' political agenda. Walt Disney World Resort's president says the company is ready to work with this new framework. The new board is scheduled to meet next week.
Alex Murdaugh is finished testifying in his murder trial. He underwent cross-examination for hours, answering questions about his whereabouts the night his wife and son were killed. CNN's Diane Gallagher has the story.
So you, like you've done so many times over the course of your life, had to back up and make a new story that kind of fit with the facts.
Alec Murdaugh under cross-examination for a second day, several times getting heated.
You're dang right I'm consistent about that, because a very short time before that, David Owens is asking me questions and telling me I'm a suspect in the murder of my wife and my child, and asking me about my clothes. You're dang right it was important.
Because the only thing you're concerned about is yourself. You're not concerned about giving accurate information to law enforcement.
As he tries to convince the jury he did not kill his wife Maggie and son Paul.
You mean like, did I shoot my wife and my son?
Yes.
No.
Prosecutor Creighton Waters pushing Murdaugh hard over his admission of lying about being at the family dog kennels, where the bodies were found the night of the murders.
Pretty much all of that was lies, wasn't it?
The part about me not being at the kennel was a lie.
Well, also not knowing that Paul went down there, not being sure, that was a lie too, wasn't it? I mean, you're putting some detail on this thing, aren't you?
Everything about me not going to the kennel was a lie.
And you're able to just do that just so easily and so convincingly and so naturally, don't you?
And hammering Murdaugh on what the prosecution is calling his new story.
You never told them all this new story that you've constructed in light of this trial, is that correct?
I did not tell them that I went to the kennel. I lied about that.
And at the same time, you also looked at this jury and tried to tell them that you had been cooperative in this investigation.
Other than lying to them about going to the kennel, I was cooperative in every aspect of this investigation.
Very cooperative, except for maybe the most important fact of all, that you were at the murder scene with the victims just minutes before they died.
Also revealed astonishing details we've never heard about just how serious Murdaugh says his opioid addiction was.
So you're taking 60 a day or something like that? I mean,
there were days where I took more than that.
But the majority of the cross-examination Friday focused on what happened June 7th, 2021.
So what you're telling this jury is that it's a random vigilante.
That's your
the 12-year-old 5'2" people that just happened to know that Paul and Maggie were both at Moselle on June 7th, that knew that they would be at the kennels alone on June the 7th, that knew that you would not be there, but only between the times of 8:49 and 9:02, that they show up without a weapon, assuming that they're going to find weapons and ammunition there, that they commit this crime during that short time window, and then they travel the same exact route that you do around the same time to Alameda. That's what you're trying to tell this jury?
You got a lot of factors in there, Mr. Waters, all of which I do not agree with, but some of which I do.
The case is ongoing as of this afternoon. Murdaugh is pleading not guilty. After the break, a look at your Plattsburgh weather and entertainment news. Stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm your meteorologist, Marcel Gibbs, and here's a look at your Plattsburgh weather. Now we're seeing a lot of 20s and teens. It is not looking good here. I wanted 30s and 40s, but I guess I can't get my wish. We're seeing 20 for Owl's Head. We're seeing 19 for Vermontville, 18 for Dannemora, 20 for Ausable Forks, 21 for Plattsburgh. It seems that we are the only ones winning this race, and it's not a good one. We're seeing 20 for St. Albans City and 22 for Wilson. Looks like we got second place. Now here, let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Now, if you enjoyed the sun today, get ready because we are not going to have a good week. We're seeing snow for tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed those clear sidewalks. We're seeing 36 for Tuesday with snow showers as the lately. We're seeing cloudy for Wednesday, a temperature of 37, 39 for Thursday with a little bit of rain. Hopefully it will get rid of the snow that's been plaguing us. 27 for Friday with cloudies galore. It does not look like we are seeing the sun for another week. And then we finally get snow and a temperature of 27 for Saturday. And that rain is going to be abysmal and it's not going to help us at all. That is all that I have for weather. Back to the desk with John and Nick.
Calling all Pokemon trainers, it's Pokemon Day, and the company is celebrating with a slew of announcements. February 27th is the anniversary of when Pokemon first came out in the 90s. The company is marking the day by announcing the re-release of the original cards. It says it will release more information about that in August at the World Championships, which will be in Japan for the first time ever. The company also is unveiling trailers for a new Netflix show and a game called Pokemon Sleep. That game will track how users snooze and let them catch Pokemon with similar sleep styles. People who play existing games will get treats, too, in the form of crossovers within the Pokemon universe.
The month of love is coming to an end with a delicious heart-shaping sweetness of strawberries. That's because it's National Strawberry Day. The sweet fruit grows all around the world, almost year-round. Ancient Romans believed strawberries. They prescribed them for several elements, including sore throats, fever, and even depression. Today we know that strawberries contain important nutrients that we need, like vitamins C, folic acid, potassium, and fiber. And despite their name, strawberries are actually a part of the rose family, which might explain their fragrant scent and bright color. So go enjoy National Strawberry Day by grabbing a pint of strawberries, or 2, or 3.
Zoo officials say they found something strange inside the alligator that was rescued from a New York City lake. City parks and rec workers rescued this alligator from Brooklyn's Prospect Park after someone spotted it in the park's lane. Officials say the 4-foot alligator was in poor condition, lethargic, and possibly in shock due to the cold. Zoo staff caring for the alligator said X-rays revealed it had ingested a 4-inch wide bathtub stopper. Zoo officials say they will continue to care for the gator and will determine the next steps to possibly remove the stopper based on how she responds to treatment. It's unclear how long the gator was in the lake or how she came to be in New York. The St. Louis Zoo has an escape artist on its hands. An Andean bear named Ben broke out of its outdoor habitat Thursday. Guests and staff were taken to indoor facilities for some 50 minutes until he was secured. The zoo says that this is Ben's second escape this month. The first time he meddled with the steel mesh of his outdoor habitat, causing the cable to give away. Additional security was then added to the enclosure, but that did not stop the young and adventurous 4-year-old. The zoo says it is now looking into alternative ways to secure the habitat.
Now let's take a look at what's going on with entertainment with your PS Entertainment update. Here's Michael Marced.
Actor Will Smith has won his first award since last year's infamous Oscar slap. Smith took home the trophy for his role in Emancipation at the 54th annual NAACP Image Awards on Saturday. Smith was not present to accept the honor in person. He also produced a historical drama which was inspired by an 1863 photograph of a formerly enslaved man with scarring on his back that illustrated the brutality of slavery. Emancipation debuted on Apple TV Plus in October. Smith's win comes almost a year after the 2022 Oscars, where he slapped Chris Rock for making an insensitive joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Smith has been banned from all Academy sponsorship events for the next decade. Other winners at Saturday's awards show include Quinta Brunson, Viola Davis, and Angela Bassett, who won Entertainer of the Year. The 29th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards took place on Sunday night, February 26th, and on the film side, almost everything was won by everywhere. David Daniel has the highlights in today's Hollywood Minute.
Sally Field received a standing ovation and SAG's Life Achievement Award.
There is not a day that I don't feel quietly thrilled to call myself an actor.
Brendan Fraser.
The Whale star Brendan Fraser strengthened his hold on the Best Actor Oscar race, winning for Male Actor in a Leading Role. Like many winners, he recalled first receiving his SAG card.
It made me feel like I belonged. We're actors. We all want to belong to a tribe. And that's when I found where I belonged. And if you told that guy back then that I'd be standing right here, right now, I would not have believed you.
Jamie Lee Curtis began an unbelievable run for Everything Everywhere All at Once, winning for Female Actor in a Supporting Role.
I love actors. I love acting. I love the job we get to do. I love being a part of a crew. I love being a part of a cast.
Castmate Ki-Hui Kwan took the baton, winning Male Actor in a Supporting Role, the first Asian male to win an individual SAG award.
To all those at home who are watching, who are struggling and waiting to be seen, please keep on going, because the spotlight will one day find you.
I think if I speak, my heart will explode.
Then Michelle Yeoh took Female Actor in a Leading Role, the first Asian woman to receive a leading film acting honor.
This is not just for me. This is for every little girl that looks like me.
And Everything Everywhere ended the night winning Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, a cast including 94-year-old James Hong, whose career began nearly 70 years ago.
The producer said the Asians were not good enough and they are not box office. But look at us now, huh?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Everything Everywhere All at Once also won the top prize at the Producers Guild Award this weekend. Top Gun Maverick and Stranger Things won the SAG Stunt Ensemble Awards for film and television, respectively. Abbott Elementary and The White Lotus won the TV Ensemble Awards, and the individual TV winners were Jessica Chastain, Sam Elliott, Gene Smart, Jeremy Allen White, Jennifer Coolidge, and Jason Bateman. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish box office. Ant-Man 3 shrinks in second weekend. The third Ant-Man saw its box office numbers shrink this weekend, while Cocaine Bear beat expectations. Rick DeMiguela has the top 5 countdown.
Listen, Doctor, thanks for everything, but I am feeling great.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish dropped from 4th to 5th place on ticket sales of $4.1 million, while Avatar: The Way of Water sank from 2nd place down to 4th with $4.7 million.
So, tell me about yourself, Lonnie, and your people.
Jesus Revolution debuted in 3rd place with $15.5 million, far outpacing the $6 to $7 million opening, which box office pundits predicted.
Beth, we should go.
Cocaine Bear also exceeded expectations in its debut, clawing up $23.1 million after industry watchers for The Hollywood Reporter estimated only a $15 to $17 million opening.
Hello. Oh, hi. Hi. Did you drink the ooze?
Why can I understand you?
Oh, great. That's the ooze. Hey, everybody, it worked.
Despite having a 70% drop from its opening weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania held on to first place with $32.2 million. Multiple movie industry watchers from Forbes to The Wrap are calling it the biggest second weekend decline for a Marvel movie. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
That's all for entertainment tonight. I'm Michael Merced. Just ahead, a look at the wide world of sports with Ryan Nista. Stay with us.
Dance corps makes me feel confident.
Dance corps means to me family.
Dance corps is motivating.
Dance corps means new friends.
Dance corps means old friends.
Dance corps means unity.
Dance corps means creativity.
Dance corps means love.
Dance corps is fun.
Dance corps means friendship.
Dance corps is exciting. Dance corps is my support system.
Dance corps is my favorite thing.
This is KINKS, which stands for Collectively Inspiring Natural Hair Students. We like to promote people to embrace their natural hair and just love who they are. Every spring semester we have a hair show, so if you're interested in modeling, hairstylists, and a makeup artist, this is something to look forward to every spring.
Welcome back. I am with your PS Sports Update. I'm Jonah Baker-Flora. Starting with the Plattsburgh State Athletics. Baseball has opened up yesterday in Maritime College, where Nick Sergel has blasted a dramatic 3-run home run to give Plattsburgh State a late lead over SUNY Maritime. The Cardinals will hold on that lead and get their first win of the season 4-3. Plattsburgh received both strong starts from Sean and Chris Santic, as they continue to combine for 11 innings, just 4 runs. On the offensive side, Kyle Kremen and Andrew Viet would join Curl in the RBI column with one of their own. The Cardinals move to 1-1 and will head to Bard College for a doubleheader next Saturday, March 4th at noon. Moving on to the turf of Russell Sage College, a senior midfielder, Lindsey Guetta, has scored 5 career goals in the Plattsburgh State's women's team, opened up with the 2023 season with the 14-11 non-conference win. The Cardinals hold a 22-21 edge in shots as a 23-20 advantage in ground balls. With being 10 for 15 on clears, Russell Sage is going 13 for 9. With 2 other notable scorers were senior Carolyn Nola and the first-year Eric Dickerson, who had their 3 goals of their own. Plattsburgh State used the 1-0 overall with the win and visits Norwich University on Wednesday, March 1st. What a weekend was it at home at Plattsburgh State College. I had a blast there. The second top-seeded state women's state ice hockey team cruised its 5th consecutive Northeast Women's Hockey League championship game, and as the Cardinals defeated the 4th-seeded SUNY Canton 7-1 in the Newell tournament semifinals. With the victory, Cardinals extended their streak to 16 winning games. The Cardinals finished with a 66-18 edge in shot and goals, while the Kangaroos were 1-3 on the power play. Goalie Ashley Davis was only the near perfect one, only allowing 1 of 18 shots of her offensively if the whole team pitched in, with the 7 different players scoring a goal. Plattsburgh State rises to a 24-2-0 overall win within hosts the second-seeded Cortland in the Newell Tournament Championship on the game Saturday, March 4th at 3 p.m. For the first time ever since 2017, a SUNYAC champion will be crowned in men's hockey, as the 7th rank in the second-seeded Plattsburgh State dethroned the 11th and the 3rd-seeded SUNY Geneseo with a 5-1 victory in the semifinals. I was there. And the Knights were a 4-time defending conference champion and a regional national running-up. First-year goaltender Eli Schiller has another strong showing that he has made a 41 saves to save the backstop for the Plattsburgh State win. Senior forward Brendan Young and for Luke Jurek led the offense and had a goal and an assist. Plattsburgh State rises to 19-5-2 with the overwhelming win in the longtime rivals Oswego State and SUNYAC Tournament Championship game on Sunday, March 4th at 7 p.m. After 294 days in the Russian prison, WNBA star Brittany Griner is back what she does best, playing basketball. Griner worked out Thursday night with the members of the BA Phoenix Suns in the women's pro basketball season. It doesn't start until May. She was forced to cut her trademark dreadlocks due to them freezing in Russia, but I seems to like her style a little new, shorter and hairstyle. I do like that too. Griner officially resigns with the Phoenix Mercury later this week, shortly after her one-year anniversary of being wrongfully detained in Russia. A 6'9" last played for the WNBA's Mercury in 2021, taking the team to the finals near averaging 21 points and 10 rebounds per game. 0-13 at the second period, 1-0 Rangers. Vincent Trotic, Rangers goal, 2-0 Rangers. 13-25 second period, Rangers. Vincent Trotic, Rangers goal, 3-0 Rangers. 25-36, 3-1 Rangers. Matt Roy scored the player plus goals and the 3-2 Rangers. 34-38. Third period, 3-2 Rangers. Armin Pernan, Rangers goal, 4-2 Rangers. 48-58. Third period, 4-2 Rangers. Mike Zinabennett, Rangers gold, 5-2 Rangers. The score was actually finals, the 5-2 Rangers. Second quarter, the Hawks and Trey Young, an alley-oop to John Collins in the slam. 47-39 Hawks. Second quarter, 62-52 Hawks. Mikal Bridges with a three-pointer, 62-55 with the Hawks. Second quarter, 62-57. Trey Young with the floater. That was a cool floater right there. 64-57 Hawks. The fourth quarter now is going to be 96-97. That Bogdan Donovich hits a three-pointer in there. 196 to the Hawks. Fourth quarter, 102-99 with the Hawks. Spencer Dinwiddie with the driving net slam. To the Hawks. During the first quarter, 118 have gone to overtime with Devontae Murray with a three-pointer of his own. The Hawks. 127 the Hawks. Cam Johnson, three-pointer, tied at 127. The fourth quarter tied at 127. Trey Young with the game-winning jumper at the buzzer. The final was 129-27, 127 Hawks. I'm with your PS Sports Update. My name is Jonah Bigflora, and back with the desk with John and Nick.
Well, that's all the time we've got for this edition of PS News. Thank you for joining us.
To stay up to date with all Plattsburgh news and other Plattsburgh State TV, be sure to follow us on Plattsburgh State TV on all social media platforms. I'm Nick Benardot.
And I'm John Carduello. As always, thank you for joining us, and have a great night, Plattsburgh.